Hey guys, you already know what this is, so let's get into it already. Okay, so episode 8 of Pretty Little Liars starts off with the girls. They are still trying to figure out Maya's website. You do find out later on that it is definitely her website, and they're still trying to find out how to get in and get through the password. And Hannah is sitting there and she's trying to convince them that Mona is actually trying to help them instead of hurt them. But of course the other girls are like, yeah. Anyway. Next, Aria is in her room getting ready and her dad comes in and pretty much just says, Meredith got the job. Now for those of you who don't remember, Meredith was at Rosewood High trying to get hired. And according to Aria's dad, she did get hired. And moving on, Emily and Nate, they are at this little place on the lake where she and Maya, and also him and Maya would always, go to kind of just, I guess, kick back and relax. So they went there and they just talked for a little bit. And then, big surprise, Aria meets Ezra's mother. Yeah, you know that awkward moment when you're with a guy and everything and then you meet the mom and it's like, yeah, hi mommy. Anyway, come to find out, Mr. Fitz, he shortened his last name. The last name is really Fitzgerald, and his family, they're very, very wealthy people. And it kind of makes you think like, oh, so basically, what? You were lying to me this entire time? That's what I would have been like. I don't know. Aria, she's a good one. But anyway, moving on. Ezra's mom invites both of them to a function at, I'm guessing, I believe it was a museum. So they go and do that later on in the episode. I'll talk about that in a bit. So Ezra also lied about when he and Aria started dating. He lied to his mom about when that happened so that, I mean, come on. If you were a teacher, would you just tell your mom, oh, by the way, I was dating my student when I was, like, basically her teacher? And, yeah, I understand why he didn't mention all that. I sure as heck would not. So after that, Spencer, she's still trying to get into Maya's website. Everything she tries doesn't work. The password is always coming up invalid. And then she asks Hannah if she can somehow, well, not even somehow, I mean, you guys know, Caleb, duh. I mean, he's the one who can hack into pretty much anything. So Spencer mentions that to Hannah, and eventually Caleb does agree to crack into the website and everything. And then Hannah gets a text message from Ren saying, we need to talk. Which is amazing that I was able to see that because, okay, I'm a little, I don't want to say slow, but here I am sitting on my bed trying to watch the episode and I'm straining, like, why can't I see? And then I freak out when the text message shows up because I'm like, I can't see that. Then I realize, Courtney, you don't have your glasses on. So it was a miracle I was able to even see the text message. But anyway, now that I'm done rambling about that randomness, Toby comes in, agitated, mad at the world, and tells Spencer that Jason is gone. And Toby walks out very angry. I mean, Spencer, she just starts to tear up. And, I mean, it's really hard seeing the girls when they break down like that. Emily sees Paige, and they eventually decide to meet up. And when they meet up, something very interesting is discovered. Now, Hannah, of course, Ren texts her and Hannah goes to see him. Apparently, Mona hasn't been taking her medication. He says, according to him, someone has been taking her medication and leaving with it. And you begin to think, although I think one of them mentioned in the episode, Lucas may be doing that, but other than that, not too sure. And Ren also tells Hannah that there's the possibility that Mona may be sent away. In other words, to another institution. And Hannah's not happy about that. She wants Mona to stay. And of course, I mean, you know why. they were friends, even though I don't understand why she's still friends with someone who ran her over with a daggone car. But we're not going to get into that. Let's see here. So while Hannah's talking to Ren, Caleb walks in. Now, this scene really just kind of made me like, Hannah, you shouldn't have done that. I mean, she's sitting there with Ren. They're talking. Caleb walks in. She walks up to Caleb. Doesn't say a thing. Then turns around and looks at Ren. To me, that feels like those times, when you want to make someone jealous. You guys ever do that? I mean, I never did. But, you kind of look back at the person you're with like, you see who I'm with? Yeah. He wants this. You lost it. But, that really wasn't what was going on. It looked like it, but, yep. So, like I said, Caleb agrees to help Spencer. And, yeah. And after he and she talk, Spencer gets a text message from A. And this says, and I quote, Mona's almost gone. Hannah's next. A. A little creepy in 2 ways. Spencer goes, what's it say? Oh, I see it. Apparently Spencer, eventually she goes through Garrett's file, and Aria takes pictures of the file. Now, the way they got that is because her mom, dumbly, idiotically, stupidly, left her briefcase and everything. Well, it wasn't really a briefcase. It was more like a purse on the floor, and, of course, they go through it. Good job, Spencer's mama. Anyways, so Emily and Paige, they go for a run, and poor Emily, she was just breathing all hard. And then they start talking about what was in the flask. And, of course, you guys remember the pills that makes you lose your memory. And then you find out that Emily was with Paige that night. The night that she can't remember, she was at Allie's grave. Apparently, Emily showed up at Paige's house, and they had a moment, and they kissed. And Paige said things like, it just felt so right, but then again, I knew that you were drunk. I went to go get you some water, and next thing I knew, you were gone. And you could tell Paige was really hurt and just confused, but she was really stunned because, they finally put 2 and 2 together and figured out what happened, a little bit of what happened that night. Let me see here. Okay, so Spencer and Caleb, going back to them, do you guys notice that they were kind of being a little flirty? I noticed that. Not necessarily flirting like they actually mean it, but it seemed like there was just something kind of going on with it. My nose is oily. Sorry, y'all. It seems like there was just something going on between them, but not really. You just get this kind of a weird little vibe. Oh, I already mentioned that. Good job, Courtney. Okay, so going back to Ren tells Hannah that if she talks to the board, then they could probably get Mona to stay. And then you find out that, oh gosh, wow, I completely missed an entire little section. So you find out eventually that Maya got into a police car with Garrett the night she was killed. And you find that out when Aria goes to an address and finds somebody whose name was on a file in Spencer's mom's briefcase that had Garrett's stuff in it. Okay, that was a really long-winded, but she finds that out. And then there's the big scene between Mr. Fitz's mom and Aria. Basically, just a lot of things were said, and Aria and Mr. Fitz's mama, she got a little bit of an attitude problem, and she was just saying all this stuff to Aria, and basically pretty much bribes Aria, I guess in a way to be like, stay away from my son. But Aria just walks away like, girl, please. Anyway, so Ezra eventually confronts his mom and is like, Aria walked away and you were the last person I saw her talking to. And so they talked about that, and then, of course, Hannah speaks to the board and everything about Mona staying. And Mona is allowed to stay after what Hannah has said. And then she and Ren kiss. Yeah, there's a little chemistry between them. And then, adding on to some more spicy chemistry, Emily and Paige. Again, they're talking, they're by the pool. Next thing you know, there is this hot, steamy, passionate kiss between Emily and Paige. I was like, girls, yes, you better get it. And get it good. Anyways, Aria, now back to her. She left the function. She's sitting on the floor, upset. Her dad comes in, and basically this is the gist of what was said. She's basically like, why is it that everything that I touch or everything that I do basically ends up badly? And her dad said the sweetest thing. He said, gosh, something along the lines of, with you, hold on, let me see here. Did I write it down right? Basically, if she's in someone's life, then she could never basically ruin anything. And they hug, and it was really, really sweet. Nice little father-daughter moment there. Okay, I mentioned that. Ooh, I'm flying through this. I'm almost done. So they're looking at Maya's videos, and they come across one where Maya is saying something along the lines of facing her fears, and then you see the red lights of a police car. And then they're still trying to contact Emily, and when Spencer finally calls for the last time of the episode, Emily's phone is on, but she's not answering because she and Paige are swimming in the water. They're looking at each other. They're just swimming. They're like, yes. They're just swimming and everything, being all flirtatious while swimming in the pool. Then the episode ends, and then you see of course, at the end of every episode, taking out a big money withdrawal. Like, that was like hundreds of thousands of, well, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of dollars. And that was the end of that episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is not as long as my last one, thank goodness. And I will see you guys in my next review. I hope you all enjoyed. Take care.